Good evening, everyone. So, hi, day 7, or the 7th day that I've been doing these live videos, and there's going to be, as always, no video tomorrow, but then there'll be another one on Sunday morning, and it'll be the usual. I've actually found that Yin is such an amazing practice, and it's very, very, very beneficial to all people. Yin is a style of yoga where we hold postures just on the edge. So we're trying to find that sweet spot between a little bit of effort, but then relaxation. So it's about 40% effort. So it shouldn't be painful in the body, but it shouldn't be so easy that we're not feeling something in the postures. And what we do is we use a lot of props. So hopefully you've got something. It doesn't need to be a proper bolster. So I've got a bolster cushion here. It doesn't need to be a bolster. You can have a rolled up yoga mat. You can have cushions, pillows. You can have a rolled up blanket. I've got some blocks as well. Again, you don't need blocks. You can use books or anything really. I've got a meditation cushion as well here, like a little beanie cushion, so you can use something like that as well. We just use props to so we get into the posture, then we use the props to hold us in the position so we can just let go. And the idea is that you're not engaging the muscles as you do in Ashtanga, you're just allowing gravity to do the work. So this is great for improving your flexibility. And it kind of targets the connective tissues, so deep into the joints rather than the muscles. So and it's all about letting go and just releasing as much as you can. It can be intense. So when I first went to a yin class, I think we did about 5 postures, and I was just like, I felt robbed. Especially when I was so used to the Ashtanga practice. I felt completely robbed, and I was just like, well, I'm not going there again. We literally did 5 postures, and my mind was wandering all over the place as it was back then. So I didn't appreciate, the practice. It is just as difficult as the Ashtanga practice, as challenging as the Ashtanga practice, but in a totally different way. So you'll find that as we hold the postures, we hold postures between 3 and 5 minutes, and you'll find that as we hold the postures, the posture kind of changes, or the way you're feeling tension kind of changes within the posture. That's fine. Anyway, so the first minute is totally different to the 5th minute, and the longer that you practice Yin, the longer that you tend to hold the posture. So you can hold the postures up to 10 minutes sometimes, and maybe longer. But you'll find that the challenge is keeping the mind focused and trying to stay still. So it's the stillness that once we get comfortable in the posture, once we've used the bolsters to get us into the posture, then we try to find this stillness. And it's the stillness, I think, that's the challenge. Especially because you're relaxing, you're releasing, you're going to start to feel a little bit of discomfort, and you want that. You want a bit of discomfort in the joints, but not pain. And then it's using the mind and the breath to focus and just to stay there and just to breathe through it, to try to get yourself to relax even more in the posture. So those that are new to Yin, you might like it, you might not. Again, I'm just trying to do different styles for you guys as well. So we are going to grab our cushions, our blocks. We won't need straps, but grab anything that you can, and that might help you as we go through the practice. And there's not going to be as many postures as you would expect in a normal class. But I hope you're going to enjoy it. It's a really, really nice practice. Like I say, I have warmed to the Yin practice, in more recent years, and I do enjoy it. And now I can now my mind is a lot more quieter, and I can allow myself to be without it just going absolutely nuts and absolutely crazy, which the Ashtanga practice has for me. The Ashtanga has given me so much and taught me how to control my mind and how to stay with my breath and stay present with what's going on in my body. And now I can appreciate the yin practice because of that. So without further ado, we shall get started. So again, we're going to grab our props, bolster or cushion, and just place it at the bottom of your spine. In fact, you may need a block underneath the top of the bolster because we're going to be lying back on this bolster, and sometimes it's just a little bit nicer for the neck to have it lifted slightly at the back. Or you can just put a pillow on top of the bolster as well. That can be nice for you. You might need a couple of cushions underneath the knees because we're going to come into reclined Baddha Konasana. So we're going to have the soles of the feet together. The knees are going to fall out to the side. And we're going to come to lie down. So you want the bolster in the lower part of the back. So it's a heart opener at the same time. And we're just going to come to lie down. And we're just going to allow the arms to fall out to the side. So firstly, as you come into every posture, you're just going to get comfortable. And if you're feeling uncomfortable, if there's any pain, just have a wiggle around. So maybe you want to move the bolster a little bit further up the back. If it's pinching in the lower back a little bit here, maybe you want to put some cushions underneath the legs if it's a little bit uncomfortable for the adductors on the insides of the legs here. And we're just going to close the eyes. And hopefully you've got some nice music on maybe, or you've got the windows open and the birds are tweeting. So get comfortable. And we're just going to completely relax, let go. So we're just allowing gravity to do the work here. You can close the eyes. And just soften the forehead, soften the face. Just allow your entire body to melt here. Just notice where your tension is. Just breathe into that tension. Maybe you wish to activate your Ujjayi breath. And when you're doing yin, it's good to be in a warm room because we're not going to be moving the body so much. As you lie here, just notice if the feeling in the body changes. Or maybe it's the same. So this posture is a wonderfully restorative posture. It's very grounding as well. We'll take a nice deep inhale now. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then gently peeling the eyes open, and slowly, slowly we'll lift the head and we'll start to make our way out of the posture. Posture 1 over. So we're going to come into fire log or double pigeon or a variation of these postures. Again, so you can stay facing the top of your mat. I'm just turning around so you can see me. So we want the right leg in front of the left leg. And this is going to target the outer glutes, again, where a lot of us are tight. If you're quite open in your external rotators, you can come into your full fire log by lifting the right ankle on top of the left knee, and we can be here. If it's too much, just stay with that right foot in front of the left. Remember, we're looking for about 40-50% of effort. So we want to be feeling it, but not so much that it's starting to create tension. If we're starting to tense up in the jaw or the shoulders, then it's too much. So we need to just back off a little bit. So with double pigeon, again, it's about being totally relaxed. So you can use your cushions. You can plonk your cushions underneath you. And we're just going to lie forward and just rest. Head on arms. And then you can take cushions sideways here. And just so that you can completely relax. Just feeling those hips opening. We'll be here for a few minutes. We'll do each side. So this side targets the right side a little bit more than left. Still, you should feel something in the left hip as well. Again, feel free to close the eyes if you wish. Again, if you're very open in the hips, maybe you're down here. Just find where it feels comfortable for you, and we're just going to hold it there. Keep breathing. Just allowing yourself to be soft. And try not to hold on in the hips. And we'll take a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale coming up. And we'll switch the legs. So now we're going to take the left leg in front of the right leg. And again, if it's too much to fold forward, you can just be here. Just relaxing. Or again, you've got your bolster on top of your legs, or lengthways, just folding over. Or again, if you're very open in your external rotators, come into double pigeon, stacking the left ankle over the right knee. And again, we're just going to hold. I'm not going to talk through much as well during the class. I just want you to stay focused on your breath. Just breathing into where you feel the tension in your body. And remember, we're just about 40–50%. Nothing too strong. And then nothing so easy that we're not feeling anything at all. And just notice if your mind wanders off. If it wanders, just draw it back to your breath, back to your body. Noticing how the posture changes and the longer we hold. And taking a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale, coming back up. We'll remove the bolster. And coming into hero or a variation of heroes. This is going to target the internal rotators and the front of the legs. If you're very tight in your quadriceps, you can just sit here. So sitting back on the heels. If you're going well, if you're feeling okay in this position, Bring the bum onto a block. You're going to take the feet wide, so just wider than the hips, and we're going to bring our bum onto a block. Forward a little bit. And we can take a block behind us or a book or whatever you have at home. Bolster cushion again. And we're just going to start to lean back. Again, if this is too much, just stay upright. Or you can come onto elbows, just rest on your elbows. You can take the heels, or you can take the arms out to the side. If you like a bit more as well, you can also turn the block onto its side and bring it more into the sacrum as well. But just try to let go, try to relax completely. And just finding that stillness. And remember, as we're lying here, there shouldn't be any pain, just a slight discomfort. Just trying to let go. And controlling that mind. And drawing it back to the breath if it wanders off. And take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And slowly, slowly making your way back up out of that posture. And making our way into Sphinx pose. So going on to our fronts now. So our option one is just to be here. Elbows on the mat, and just try. So we're not. It's not like in a vinyasa class where we're actively pressing. Just allow the body to sink here. You can relax the head. You can use a block underneath the head as well here if you wish. So let go completely. If you want a little bit more, if you're not feeling anything, try bringing a cushion underneath the chest. Help to lift the chest up a little bit more here. You can also bring a bolster underneath the thighs. And that'll allow the hips to sink between these two cushions. And again, just relax, release. And as always, use as many props as you need to. Keeping those breaths going. You don't need to ujjayi breathe. And again, just noticing how the posture changes, if it does. Postures are going to change as you hold them a lot more than other postures. And taking a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And slowly, slowly coming out of the posture. Coming back onto our knees. And we're going to use a bolster again here. If you don't have a bolster, you're going to take your blocks. Now with the bolster at the top of the mat, long ways, if you're using blocks, bring 2 blocks side by side on the top of your mat. I'm going to target the shoulders a little bit here and also just release the lower back. So we're going to come into child's pose. So you can have the knees together in your child's pose or big toes touching, knees wide, whatever feels more comfortable in your lower back. And we're going to bring our arms onto our blocks or onto our bolster. This can be quite intense. If it's too intense, then don't use the blocks at all. You can just have your arms out here. And we're going to feel a nice stretch through the upper arms into the shoulders. And when you're ready, just relax. You can allow the head to hang. If it's uncomfortable for the neck, again, you can bring a little cushion just underneath the forehead. And again, just find in your comfortable position. Have a wiggle around. Maybe you want the bolster a little bit more underneath the elbows or under the forearms, whatever feels good in your body. And again, this posture can be quite intense, especially if you're tight in the shoulders. So find your edge, that 40-50% edge. Holding it there. And noticing how the posture changes over the few minutes that will be here. And just using the breath to help keep you present, to help you relax. Remembering that when we control the breath, we control our nervous system, controlling our fight-flight response. And we'll take a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And slowly, slowly coming out of the posture. So we may need some blocks for the next posture. We're just going to come into a low lunge. So let's bring the right foot forward. Left knee on the mat. So you can have fingertips on the mat or hands on blocks either side of the body. And again, it's no force. We're just going to allow the hips to sink here. Just make yourself comfortable. Soften the shoulders. Soften the neck. Again, have a wiggle around with that back knee. Maybe you need to move it a little bit closer, maybe a little bit further away. And just release. Just allow the chest to sink between the shoulders. Allow the head to hang. And just noticing the stretch through the front of the left hip. Noticing if it changes. Maybe you're feeling this more in the front of the right hip. And we'll take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And releasing. And we'll switch to the other side. So bringing that right knee back and sending the left foot forward. And again, getting nice and comfortable here. If you're really open in the front of the hips, you can shoot that left knee forward a little bit more. But again, look for that 40-50%. Nothing too much. And you'll notice sometimes at the beginning you think, yeah, this is about 40%. And then after a minute you're like, oh, what did I do? And you have to really concentrate, really breathe. So again, have a play around, find where this posture is working for you. And when you're ready, just release, relax. Now we'll take an inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and then inhale. Let's come out of that posture. We're going to find pigeon. So posture that most of you are familiar with. Swan pose is the safest variation of pigeon. So let's bring that right knee forward to the center of our mats, and we'll just sink back. So if you're a swan, that right heel is going to be by the front of the left hip. And again, we can use bolsters, or blocks underneath that right hip if you need a little bit of support there, especially if that thigh is lifting. You can bring your bolster or your cushion to the front. If you're working more towards, you're more open in the hips, work more towards a pigeon position, so you can wiggle that right foot forward a little bit more. You can take that right knee out. Just find where it feels comfortable. And then again, this is one of those postures that when you start off, you're like, yeah, this is my 40, this is my 40%. And then soon enough, it really starts to test you. Okay, find that comfort. You just want to find where it feels good so that you can just relax completely. And when you found that comfort, try to find stillness. And breathe. Okay, we're just allowing gravity and the props that we're using just to hold us in this position. As I said, Yin Yoga is great for increasing your flexibility. It gets deep into those joints. You've seen people doing Yin. It looks nice and easy. There's a lot going on internally. The more advanced you become in a Yin practice, the longer you tend to hold the postures. If you're new to Yin, the body could start screaming inside after a minute or two. Everything in your body saying, get out of this posture. What are you doing? And you're just using your breath control to stay with it. Stay with that stillness. And try to relax even more. When the body wants to tense up, notice and release. Let go even more. And we'll take a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And coming up out of that posture, and we'll switch to the other side. So send that right knee back, nice and slowly. The left knee comes forward, and again, you're finding your swan or your pigeon on the left side. And again, you're using as many props as you need to. And when you've found your comfortable position, comfortable but with a little bit of work going on deep inside, you're just going to hold it there. And just try to soften shoulders, soften face. Just allow yourself to be. Always scanning the body. Just checking that you're not holding on. For instance, I just found a little bit of tension in my left ankle. I was pressing my foot into the mat and I just let that go. Again, you're just noticing how this posture develops over time. There's a saying in the yoga practice that at the point that you want to get out of the posture, that's when the posture begins. And that's certainly the case in Yin yoga. Can you stay with it? And then we'll take an inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And coming out of that posture there. We're going to come sideways onto our mat and taking a posture called frog posture. So again, you're going to need your bolster, your cushions, and we're going to come onto the knees and we're going to start to take the knees wide. Flexing your ankles so the insides of the feet are on the mat, and you're just going to move those knees out to the point where you've got that 80%. It's like, right, okay, that's me now, that's good. And then you're just going to take your bolster cushion, your pillow, put it underneath you. And just come to lie on the cushion. And this is just going to really get to the adductors on the insides of the legs. Again, have a fidget, have a wiggle around. Find your comfort first. And come to a place where you're not holding on. So see if you can just completely relax here. And when you're comfortable, just finding that stillness again. And as always, just scanning your body, just checking you're not holding on. There's a tendency to grip, especially in some of the more intense postures. The fear of letting go. And we'll take a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And slowly, slowly coming back out of that posture. Again, out of that posture. And we'll come back onto reference. So back onto the mat. Line on our fronts. So variation of the thread the needle posture. Let's come onto the elbows and we're going to thread the right arm underneath the left arm. And coming on to, so it's a shoulder stretch here, working on the delts in the upper arm and the shoulder. And you can just rest your head on your left arm here, the palm facing up towards the ceiling. If it's too intense, you can always use, again, block underneath you, or bolster, and block for your head. We just lift it up slightly. And again, when you found the position that feels comfortable for you, you're just going to rest. And again, just check that the jaw hasn't tensed up. And with every exhale, just allow yourself to soften, to melt even more. And take in an inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And coming out of that posture, so going back onto that left elbow, feeding that right arm from underneath the left, and we'll do the opposite side. So the left arm threads underneath the right. Okay, maybe one side is a little bit tighter than the other. Again, the left palm is facing towards the ceiling, and just resting your head on your right forearm. And again, if it's too much, bring a block or a bolster underneath that left shoulder. And again, you can bring a block underneath the head as well. And just soften. Find that stillness when you're comfortable. And as always, in all of these postures, we're all slightly different, so we're all going to feel in slightly different places. And we're going to find some more intense than others. If you have tight shoulders like me, then this is a pretty intense posture. And we'll take an inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And slowly, slowly moving your way out of that posture. The next posture we're going to do is a bicep chest stretch. For me, this is really intense again because I'm tightening the shoulders, I'm tightening the biceps. So I'm going to turn this way so you guys can see. And again, we can use blocks, bolsters. The easiest version is just to take the arm out to the side. So we want the hand level with the shoulder. And then we're going to start making sure that that shoulder is connecting to the mat. And then we're just going to start to roll over. So you may have done this one against a wall, standing against the wall and then moving around. Again, it can be quite an intense stretch for the shoulders and for the chest. This is the easier version. In my body, it feels the easier version. If you want a little bit more, bend that right elbow 90 degrees. And then you'll feel it more across that bicep and into the chest. And again, you can make yourself comfortable. Bring in a bolster. Bringing your leg onto that bolster. That feels good. Or you can just support yourself with your left hand. And this is all good. If you're going well, you can take that left foot over the back. Again, just increasing that twist here. Quite an intense posture. If you suffer from round shoulderedness, and this is such a good one to do. And we'll take an inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and slowly rolling out. And we'll do the same on the other side. And left arm again, arm is straight here, option one. Let's roll it over. Maybe that's enough for you. Or getting more into that bicep, more into the chest. Just bring that elbow 90 degrees. And again, we're just rolling over. And again, you can use your props. Just to keep the body in the position that feels right for you. You feel that stretch. And just holding it there. And again, just noticing if the stretch changes, the longer you're here. Maybe you can feel things moving around, and the stretch moves around. Now we'll take a deep inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and slowly, making your way back out of that posture. Wonderful. So last but one posture. The last posture before our Shavasana. If you have a wall space, it's going to be quite useful. This is a really nice restorative posture. If you don't have a wall, maybe you can take a chair or use a settee if you're in your front room. And we're going to come to the wall. Put these cushions that way. You'll sit nice and close as you can to the wall. And then swing your body around and take your legs up the wall. So your option one is just to be here. You can take the arms above the head if you wish, take the arms out to the side. You can also, if you want to, you can make it a little heart opener at the same time by bringing that bolster cushion back underneath you. If you wish. Or another option is to take those legs wide. And again, just using some cushions. I'm going to move the bolster. It's a little bit of a faff, I know, with props, but we get there eventually. Taking the legs wide and maybe using some cushions underneath the legs, just to provide a little bit of support here. And again, arms can be wherever they feel comfortable. It's a nice passive stretch for the insides of the legs. And as always, if it's too much, just have the legs straight. And I say this is a wonderful posture, legs of the wall posture. It's a wonderful posture for helping you sleep if you struggle sleeping, suffer from insomnia. This is a good posture to do before bed. Any kind of inversion or half inversion, it just draws the bad blood out from the legs so that it can get pumped, it can get cleaned. And taken back around the body. And the heart gets to rest also. And take in a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And slowly, slowly bringing those legs back together if you tuck them wide. And we'll make our way away from the wall as gracefully as possible. And we'll come into our final posture, our Shavasana. And again, you can use your bolster in your Shavasana. Maybe you want to bring it underneath your knees. Nice way to take your Shavasana. And I'm in a semi-Baddha Konasana, so knees are out to the side. Or you can just have them resting on the top here. This is all good. Take up space with the arms. Close your eyes. And again, just allowing the body to be still. As you lie in your Shavasana, just allowing all your worries, all your anxieties to melt away. Remembering there are so many different styles of yoga. Styles of asana practice, I should say, the movement part of the yoga practice. So many different ways to practice yoga. Be it meditation, be it moving the body, and pranayama, breath control, breathing practices. Just practicing mindfulness in your everyday life. Thinking before we speak, before we act, to ensure that it's the wisest action, the wisest words. anything that brings you towards a better version of yourself, a wiser version of yourself, is practicing yoga. And we'll take a deep inhale. Exhale the breath completely, connect the navel to the spine. Inhale the breath into the heart space. Exhale the breath into the fingertips, the toes, and start to wiggle the fingers and toes. And bringing movement back to your body. Rotating your wrists and your ankles, moving your limbs. Bringing your feet, your legs together, take the arms overhead for a stretch. And draw your knees into your chest, giving them a hug. And as always, just taking a moment to show gratitude. And gratitude for being alive right now. And acceptance with where you are. We'll rock to our right hand side. When we're ready, just find some comfort on your right hand side. And joining me again in a comfortable seat. We're going into a cross-legged position. We'll bring our hands into Anjali Mudra at our heart center. And we'll finish with the sacred sound Om and 3 Shantis. Take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hare Om. Sending love, light, and health to each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. Another cluster. Oh, hi. Hi Paul, hi Amanda, hey, how you guys? So yeah, thank you for joining me again. As always, please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please share the video with anyone who you think may enjoy this lovely, relaxing yin practice. Sometimes challenging, like I said at the beginning, it can be quite a challenging practice. So if you found some of those postures a little bit like then it's good. It's nice to challenge ourselves. And as always, if you enjoyed the video and you want to help keep me afloat during these tough times, then feel free to donate to my PayPal account, which is paypal.me/raw yoga, RAWYOGA. Of course, if you are yourself in a terrible position, please do not donate. I'm doing these completely free of charge. I just want to provide a service to you guys, and I love my job. How intense in a very good way. Ah, there you go, Sally. Yeah, a little bit different to the to the Ashtanga method, the Vinyasa flow. Like I said, when I came to yoga, I was very much like, yeah, give me the Ashtanga, gonna be the hard, the strong, the power yoga, and I found Yin. I thought boring at first. I thought, what is this? But yeah, it's I realized I wasn't doing it right. Yeah, my mind was all over the place. When you really get into it, it's just as challenging as Ashtanga. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Wonderful. Yeah, it can be just as challenging, but in a really different way. In the Ashtanga method, where we're holding on and we're pushing, trying to find strength in the posture. The Yin is completely the opposite, really trying to relax. So yes, something a little bit different there. But oh, wonderful! Yeah, I bet. Yeah, Yin can be really challenging, especially if you're very tight. But great, really great for increasing your flexibility. So definitely something to look into and try. I'm not sure if they do any Yin calm yoga. They used to. I'm sure they used to. Not sure if they do any, but definitely if there's some Yin yoga classes when all this is back to normal, then I definitely recommend giving them a try. As always, thank you guys for joining me, and no class tomorrow, but the next class will be Sunday morning at 9:30, and again it's a gentle stretch, and maybe you felt a little bit cold as well during that one. I always feel a little bit chilly through Yin because we're just not doing anything. I'm so used to the movement as well. So yeah, it's always good to have a warm room and definitely a couple of blankets on you in your shavasana at the end. But yeah, thank you guys. I'll stop rambling on now and let you get off. And I shall see some of you Sunday morning, 9:30. Keep an eye on my social media. I'll always just update you with what class is coming up anyway. So they do it at calm. Oh, thank you for clarifying, Paul. That's good to know. So yeah, check out a Yin class at Calm Yoga when we're all back to normal. So yeah, I'm not a Yin teacher, but it's my Yin-inspired class for you. So thank you. I'll shut up and yeah, I'll see some of you Sunday morning if you're up and you want a little bit more yoga with me. Thank you guys. I shall see you soon. Bye bye.